It's Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity with your succulent tip of the day. And we're back at the historic property in Coronado today, and I wanted to give you a little backstory on this project. This homeowner is a dear friend of mine. She was one of my first mentors when I became a master gardener almost 10 years ago. Susie is an incredible human, and she's a big deal here on the island, and it's just such a pleasure and an honor for her to trust me with her back garden. For her to want to go convert all to succulents too is really, really exciting. She had me come over a couple of months ago to do the installation around the pond, which I've shown you on a couple of videos, and I also did this little cutout for her. There had been a tree here at one time, and it had long since been removed, and she could never quite figure out what to do with this round in this little patio. So this gets full sun, but remember, it's very, very coastal. We're just about a mile away from the ocean here on the island of Coronado. So I wanted to kind of just show you the plants that have been in here for a couple of months. They have seasoned through a couple of hotter months, and just look how wonderfully they're doing. This little round has a soaker, is that what you call it, Greg? No, what is that thing where the irrigation thing he sticks up and the water just kind of...
The bubbler.
Bubbler. Yeah, it has a bubbler. Remember, we're on an island, so it's sand. It drains very, very quickly, and I think Susie runs the bubbler for a few minutes every couple of weeks on this little arrangement. Look how everything is knitting together. I still get a lot of people that ask me if it's healthy to plant succulents so close together. Because I know, traditional landscape rules indicate that you should allow things room, to grow. But succulents love root competition. And what I try to explain is basically what you can see. As succulents grow in a tapestry, they knit together into a mosaic, and they just become more and more beautiful. Here's a little piece of Crassula argentea that I probably popped in here as a cutting a couple of months ago. Yep, it's hardened off, but it hasn't thrown off any roots yet. You can see it's really desiccated. There's not much plump in these leaves, and they're kind of wrinkly. But you know what? It's going to be just fine. Here's some new growth that's very turgid. It's got a lot of bounce back, and there's no rot. You can see it's not black or squishy. So I know that in time this will throw off roots and be just fine. So there's a little Crassula argentea in the full sun in this installation. As far as blooms go, when do you remove them? Whenever you feel like it. The little hummingbirds and the bees love the echeveria blooms. Echeveria come into bloom, most of them in the summertime. So you can let it ride, or if they're starting to get a little leggy or disproportionate, you can cut them off, doesn't matter. Okay, today was irrigation day. Greg's been working all day running the drip. So you see these brown tubes? They have holes in them every 12 inches. And a gallon of water comes out of that hole in 1 hour. So if you turn the drip on, it's a 1 hour, 1 gallon drip is the ratio. So considering that the holes are about 12 inches apart, we recommend running the drip for just about 10 or 15 minutes at a time. Remember, succulents are also very shallow rooted, so we don't really need to do a long, deep soak. It's just more about letting the ground dry before you apply more irrigation. And that's going to depend a lot on where you live, the time of the year, and the type of soil and exposure. Here in Coronado in the sand, we need to irrigate perhaps a little more frequently in the summer, but remember, we also have the coastal influence. So we have that marine layer, which drips a lot of moisture at night. So rule of thumb is use your common sense, just kind of see how it goes, err on less more than more. These drip lines that you see, Greg has run the poly line, then he's come off with some narrower tubing. That's a really great way to hit plants or hit small groups of plants where you need to get that irrigation in tighter. This is a smaller tube, more flexibility with it, and you can stretch it around to accommodate more plant material. We're also going to be running a spray for these bromeliads because bromeliads need to take in water from their little tops. They need to have their little, what do you call those things? Those little pools need to be full of water at all times. So this will get a spray. Justice just finished planting hops. This is Dodonea, or hopseed bush. You can see that we've got this redwood. This is the art studio back here for the home, and it's a big white, building. So we wanted something that would grow quickly, that would be airy, that's pretty much bulletproof. I love purple hopseed or Dodonea. This is one of my go-tos. It's not a succulent, but it's tough. It turns purple at certain times of the year. It throws off a pink flower. It fills in very quickly. It's easy to shore and to prune. It's just an excellent go-to choice if you're looking for a screen. We did at the base of the Dodonea some Crassula undulata and some Crassula argentea sunset. And these are both considered shrubs. They're succulent shrubs. So this whole thing is going to knit together like peas and carrots. This has been Laura Eubanks of Design for Serenity reporting from Coronado, California with your succulent tip of the day.